welcome to episode number 2 of We All Value Everyone's Stories. I am your host, Nate, and here's my co-host, Alexandra.
Hello.
Hello, guys. And today we are talking about first-time parents. Now, it may seem kind of odd. The way our relationships has always been, it's kind of been like a itinerary. It's always been in a formal process of where we've dated, we moved in together, got engaged, got married, bought a house, then had a baby. And I'll let my wife go ahead and clarify a little bit more about how that all started.
Hello. So, a little bit from the last episode leading into this one. We had gotten engaged after being in our first apartment for a couple months, but we had still lived together for a while at my parents' and throughout high school and college, off and on between houses. And then when we got engaged, we knew we wanted to get married within 2 years. So we were engaged, married in a year and a half. And then we started talking about the day we have kids or a kid. And we decided that it was something to start talking about in more of it's a thought, not so much an actual action yet. So we realized that when we lived in the apartment, there was very minimal space. There was no yard. And I was out running one day and saw these two girls playing soccer and realized, oh, this is what Nate means. We have to have more space. So then we got into the process of buying a house, which took about a year.
Roughly 6 months to a year. And I want to clarify too, there's nothing wrong with anybody, raising kids in an apartment complex. People have their ways, and I understand there are certain circumstances. So there's nothing like batting an eye towards it. But just me personally, I wanted to be able to have
we didn't want to feel like suffocated, like, oh my god, all this little space and all this stuff, because we would have added more stuff to
what we already had there currently. So yeah, like I said, there was nothing towards anybody who
they had no more than 2 bedrooms apartments. There was you couldn't move up to a third.
Well, I think they did have the apartment complex we're in there had a 3-2, but it was just there weren't none available when we were about to think about moving up into it. So.
But yeah, no, of course. I mean, if you live in an apartment or, a condo or townhome, of course, whatever is suitable for you at the moment. Everybody has their own situation and also goals to strive for. So, So we got into the house buying process and took about 6 months.
6 months, close to a year.
Until we extended that.
Oh.
Because of it being a not happy ending.
The first process was a little bit hectic, and it was very, very distraught. It kind of defeated us both in that sense too. We had to have some advice to keep on pushing forward. So thanks, parents, for that advice and helping us out there.
Yes.
That was a tough pill to swallow, but we were fortunate enough to we had a second crack at it and had
another 6 months.
Another 6 months, yeah. So close to that. We actually got our house 4 or 5 days before Christmas that year of 2018.
On December 21st.
Yep, of 2018.
And then after we signed, we went straight to the house.
Yeah, we as soon as we got
a couple stops afterwards. But...
a couple stops just to celebrate, but as soon as we got the house and the keys in our hand, we went straight to our brand new home. And
I can breathe now.
Yeah, it happened to be real funny too, because I remember when we first saw the house that we purchased and we're currently in now, what we purchased, it was hilarious because I remember my wife she didn't care for the house whatsoever, and she was just...
I didn't care for it. I was concerned about how big it was inside because we were waiting for the realtor for Bonnie and Amy to get here.
Well, no, you were concerned at the fact that, you're like, oh, well, it kind of looks kind of small on the outside. And then the pictures didn't do it justice in a sense because
Right.
she saw it first and then she's like, I don't know about it. And then we stepped inside. She's like,
Oh.
yeah, this is something I can like.
And I went into the kitchen. And
Yeah.
I'm like, really? What's the rest of the house look like?
Yeah.
And then when we did the tour of the house, I started thinking, oh my goodness, this could be a baby's room.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another bedroom. Oh, this could be our second kid if, we get to that point in life. And
eventually we will, you know what I mean? Just we got to space it out. We've talked about it and spacing it out.
So, and then
yeah,
at that point we were together 11 and a half years.
Yeah.
February was 12.
Yeah.
So 19. So then for Nate's birthday.
Well, the day before my birthday.
Day before his birthday, yes.
Yeah.
We found out we were expecting.
Oh, yeah.
2019. 19. It was called, Yep.
Yeah, because it was
a month and a half after.
Yeah.
So
we didn't waste any time whatsoever. We got down to the point.
Well, we thought it was going to take a while, too. We didn't know we were going to be overachievers in that area.
Well, yeah, in that aspect. And I want to say that was a little, it was a little rough at first. We had a couple of hiccups and scares here and there. And
yes.
She ended up being... Her original due date was the 22nd of September, which is actually 2 days after our anniversary from when we got married. But so she decided, I'm going to wait a week and decide to surprise you guys. And she was born on the 28th.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so becoming a first-time parent isn't when they're born. I feel like it starts when you're already expecting, because you're already starting to have a different mindset of, well, when he or she's here, what do we want their room to look like? Do we want to start their college fund before? Do we want to start it after? Where are we going to send them to school? When are we going to send them to daycare? Your mind already is the mindset of a parent when you're either carrying the child or you're the father that's, alongside the mom as her biggest support system. And you begin to realize, there's going to be one of us here soon.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem kind of surreal because, like I said, for me, for me, in a sense, it was just more of a shock, like, oh my God, wow, like, there's going to be a little person. We were picturing this when we first got this house and we moved in. Now we're realizing...
Picturing for a while.
Yeah, we waited so long for that, and then to finally see it come to fruition and see like the crib being set up, or us setting up the crib, or buying diapers and buying wipes and buying bibs and stocking up on that. And man, it is true. They say when they go through diapers and wipes, they go through diapers and wipes, because we look and you look in the closet, it's stocked. We're like, yeah, we're good for a while. 2 or 3 weeks in, we got to go back to the store and get more diapers and wipes. So, but I mean, when she was born, for me anyway, I was a nervous wreck. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I mean,
that whole process
was because
it was emergency C-section. Was not expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
I had contractions. I woke up. It was a Saturday when she was born. I woke up.
Your mom happened to be here that day too. She was here that morning, and I was still passed out. I was out cold.
I was like, "Oh wow, that's a long contraction," but I didn't realize, like, Alex, you're a week late. Like, this is going to be it now.
Oh God, and your ankles? Oh, your ankles were swollen so bad.
I had contractions for about 2 hours. I let Nate sleep, and then finally, after the one at the sink, my mom.
You were doing dishes, weren't you?
I was about to start because I knew that day was going to be the day, and my mom was standing there and not saying anything, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I need to wake up Nate." I woke up Nate very calmly. I was like, I think we have to go to the hospital. And Nate, like, freaked out.
No. Now, mind you, she came with a calm demeanor. Usually if there's something super important or super exciting, she's going to be like, oh my God, Nate, we got to go do this. Now, mind you, I'm in a deep sleep, and I'm a heavy, heavy sleeper. Well, not so much heavy as her, but I'm a heavy sleeper. And then as soon as she's like, I think we have to go. I kid you not. I got up out the bed so
We had
fast.
everything ready to
I
pack
got
anyway
everything
for a week
ready.
or
Yeah,
so.
we had everything already prepped, so we were lucky there. But I got up so fast, brushed my teeth, showered quick, and I'm like, all right, let's go. I hauled ass. I'm not even gonna lie. I had my fucking foot on the pedal
And me
going.
saying, calm down, I'm not having contractions anymore.
I
Remember
was.
the whole car ride, there was no contractions.
I know.
And I'm
I was
like,
a whole
I don't think
freaking nervous
something's
wreck.
right here.
I was a nervous wreck that whole day.
And then when I walked across the parking lot, bent over, walking through a contraction, and I finally had
Well,
one.
that was the problem too. We couldn't find any freaking parking
I
that day.
know.
No parking whatsoever.
So, I mean, that was a long contraction too, because it was 45-minute span of none.
Well, yeah,
I
that
had that one.
Well, it didn't help when you were walking all hunched over too, and nobody came. That they saw you like hunched over
Yeah.
at the door, like they saw you out the door like hunched over. Like, come on now. They could have easily been like, "Oh my God, do you need a wheelchair?" Da, da, da. And you're just like, "I need a wheelchair right now." Like,
I think the moment of becoming a first-time like parent of, as in, this is it, was when they left the room. I told them to stop checking me. I said that's enough, and
oh, you
they
were just like
came back with wristbands.
super mama bear.
And I'm like, what are you doing? And I like, when am I gonna move down the hallway? And she said, these are your ID bands. You're leaving the hospital with your baby, probably today, because they're prepping the OR. And we both were just looking at each other, speechless. And I said, no, you're not. Because no one told us what was going on. So they were already prepping the OR while we were waiting for them to come back with ID bands.
Yeah.
And then, what, it was like 10 minutes later, she was...
10, 15 minutes later. I mean, I was
They rushed us down there.
Yeah, they rushed us down there. They had me get all gowned up and everything else. And you were just... Oh my God, she was hysterical about it, trying to figure it out. She's like, this is not what we had planned, and da, 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 da. I thought this was the plan. What's going on? And she was just a nervous wreck, and they try to keep her calm as much as possible. And I'm a wreck too, so I'm trying to keep it as civil and calm and be the strong one, like you're supposed to be sometimes. But
and just 6 minutes later,
yeah,
she was out. And
it's funny too, because from looking at photos and everything else, apparently she had pooped coming out, and I didn't realize that. I didn't see it, but
the nurse anesthetist,
anesthesiologist,
he took pictures over the curtain.
Yeah,
and they're not supposed to do that.
Oh yeah, they were.
So they were. That was a special gift that they did that day. And then I got to see Nate with Riley. I got to see him trim her cord because it was C-section, of course, so he wasn't allowed to be like all the way over there, but he still cut it. It still counts.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because like before she was even born, Alex would go in for her usual checkups and everything else, and they would basically tell her like her weight and what she would be, and
7'5", because it was about the last 4 weeks, she was averaging between 7 and 8. So then when Riley came out and they were trying to get the scale to work, I was looking over, and she was so quiet. She wasn't screaming like a typical baby, and she was moving around. She was okay, obviously. And then the weight came up, and when I was born, I was 9 pounds 8 ounces, 21 inches long, and Riley weighed in
and 9 pounds 1 ounce and 21 inches long. So mind you, I looked over at the scale. I'm like, Alex, babe, look. And she looks over while she's still on the operating table. She's like,
I didn't look 9 pounds. At least I didn't think so. I mean, I thought I looked pretty good all the way up till the end. I didn't have stretch marks till 8.5 months, man.
Oh, yeah, but like I said, your ankles were
Boy,
bad.
I still got those tiger marks.
Well, see, that doesn't bother me at all. But man, I tell you what, holding her.
The joy of becoming like the pure like joy of expecting is different than when they're here.
Yeah, because now everybody who said previously who were parents who understand, like, you're gonna have a lot of sleepless nights and you're gonna be up at 2 a.m. and changing diapers and feeding, but
it was fun though. We got to get up and see Riley because we waited so long for her, and then to have to wait so long to get pregnant, and then wait until like the pregnancy's over.
Yeah.
Till you meet her. It's like even because we waited
So
for our
long,
plan, and then we have to wait another like 10 months.
Yeah.
So,
I think the biggest thing for me was like I was going through a rough patch too, so I was really, really stressed out. I was like,
yes,
yeah, I didn't eat for 3 days being in the hospital.
Yes, it was a rough.
It was really rough, and then I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, I know this little person's going to be depending on me, so I just like,
and I told him it will all fall into place.
And it did, got back on my feet and, got back into work.
But it worked out though, because you were able to be there for the C-section.
Yeah, so there was a little, I guess you could say that there was light at the end. It
wasn't me like, I need you to come home from work.
Yeah.
I need you to meet me at the hospital. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it was light at the end of the tunnel in that sense because it gave
and
you
had
time.
You had for 2 weeks home?
Yeah, I had 2 weeks home with her, so I got to see and be there for everything.
And plus from my recovery.
So that helped.
Oh my goodness.
That helped out a lot too with that recovery.
Needed you home.
Yeah, so it did work out. But yeah, that was
blessing in disguise.
It really was. I mean,
as Riley was a pure blessing.
But there are also bad parts to having it too, because she wants to be fighting and not wanting to wear diapers, or doesn't want to eat food, or just won't go down for a nap. Like, oh my God, earlier today, it was rough today because it's like 4:35 o'clock-ish, and she knew she was tired, and she was just fighting her sleep and giving Mom a hard time.
Riley
Riley was just fighting her sleep, and we're just like, go to bed. She just doesn't want to listen sometimes. She's kind of a hardhead sometimes, but that's what happens from little kids. They just want to be like, oh no, you're up, I want to be up too. So what are you guys doing? And be nosy and getting into everything. But
she's great. She likes to pal around with us.
Yeah. She likes to be nosy too.
But there's a lot of
positives
moments and like milestones from the time when we brought her home.
Well, yeah.
That then also leads into first time parent being home. It's not just. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
It's not just being pregnant and then having the baby. Then it's life after you leave the hospital and your life really beginning as a family.
Well, no.
This little person.
I would say as soon as you leave the hospital, I think that's when the whole reality starts to really click in. It's just okay, wow. Like you look back there and there's a little infant in the car seat, just all bundled up,
And we sat and we still sit in the back seat with her. She's almost a year old. We feel like. I don't want her to be lonely back there.
I mean,
we were always so careful and worried about her.
Well, yeah, and then people actually see us out in public, first time parents. You know what I mean?
Well, that came from her womb too. We worried a lot. There was a lot of different things that kept coming up.
Yeah, but she's happy, healthy, blabbing, and wanting she's in the transition of wanting to walk now with everything and walking here, walking there.
Climbing on her ponies and her rocking horses.
Yeah. Climbing on the ponies and rocking horses for sure.
Or what's her favorite thing of all? The ball pit. Since she was 6 months old. This girl is not just a 6-month-old baby. She's like a 6-month-old toddler.
Yeah, she learned how to... Okay, so here's the backstory to that. We got an inflatable pool. We put it indoors.
Which was my idea.
Which was, Alex's idea.
I was like, we can turn this into a ball pit.
Yeah. I wonder who she got it for. Was it for her or for the actual baby?
We ordered how many balls? For 800. We have about 1,200 balls in the ball pit. Some are the emoji, too. And some are stars.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. Yeah. She was not even 6 months, and she just went head first, ass followed into the ball pit.
I was like, oh, my God. And then she just sat up and was like, "Ee!" I'm like, "Are you serious, Riley?"
And she looked at it like, "Come on, guys, what are you doing? You just waiting. You take it forever. What's going on?" But she just learns everything so fast, and that's one of the things that I can really, really say. I'm like, wow. For all the bad times, there are more good times when it comes to being a parent. Yeah, obviously, but it's just it's amazing to see this small individual who depends on you solely in the first 3 to 4, 5, 6 months. They don't do much, and then they just explode.
One night they're trying to crawl and they're on their belly, and an hour later they're full-fledged crawling.
Yeah.
Such as Riley.
or another time
she was crawling at 5 months.
5 months, and then as soon as she hit 6 months, she just started blabbing, sitting up. She knows that if you're happy and you know it, she claps her hands. Like,
yeah. She learned peekaboo with the blanket at 6 months.
she just did that all on her own too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hid from her, and then she found me, and then she just imitated what I did. So, but that's really, really odd thing. Like,
I think the one thing that we're most proud of, both of us, is the fact that we're still able to breastfeed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, your milk supply goes down a little bit, but
it does
with
help
her
her out.
reaching a year old next month, like, to be able to still provide her breast milk is like, well, not like, it is something that we're so grateful for, because it's
beneficial for her.
It's so beneficial from not only infant years, but it's into early childhood. It helps her so much. So that's one thing that I was worried that I wouldn't be able to continue. So we're reaching that year mark that I wanted to at least be able to provide that for her. So.
Well, yeah. Well, now she's got close to 5 teeth, so she's not going to be latching on to anything anytime soon.
No,
so
now
you
she
got to
thinks
pump.
it's like, ooh, what's this?
Yeah.
Something to play with. No, Riley.
Right.
Mama will just pump now.
Yeah, but it's so funny to watch her eat table food and everything else. But boy, it is a challenge because sometimes she wants to play.
She loves her yogurt.
Oh yeah, I don't know why. This is one of the weird things. She loves yogurt, but
like her dad.
Yeah, I'll have it from time to time, but nothing like crazy. It's good for you, you know. There's beneficiary. There's
and her puffs.
Oh my God,
her crunchies.
Yeah, her little cheese puffs made for babies. She loves those things. But yeah, I mean, it is life changing in a sense being a first time parent, but you know, it comes with its trials and tribulations, but it just works out so well being a first time parent. I was so nervous at first, but now I'm just like, oh, okay, you know, I'm so used to it now. It feels kind of odd when we actually go out, when it's just date night for us. It's just like,
what's Riley doing?
Yeah, we kind of
just... It's hard for us to focus on, we're going out for a date or we're going to dinner. And so we'll be, sitting there talk. And then we're like, Riley, where's Riley? Oh, she's, at home, being, watched, but it still feels super, super like empty. Like a big part of you is missing.
Yeah.
And then like when you get home, you're like, Riley. And then like, oh, babe, I really enjoyed date night. I will me too, hun. And then we're like,
yeah, it just goes out the window.
I'm so happy we're home with Riley now.
It goes so quick. It's just like you'll have that 10-minute conversation. All of a sudden you're like, wait, we forgot to talk about, oh, wait, Riley's here. Oh. But, it's really, really, it really is something to behold. And I just can't explain it. It's just something that just...
We look at her with awe.
Yeah.
She is
to see that.
So incredible.
She really is. I can't really put it into words,
So yeah, so...
You okay?
Yeah.
You get a little bit emotional now. It's just like...
I just love her.
I know. Our little girl. She is a handful at times, but like I said...
there was a lot of scares.
There was a lot of scares. It's okay. You don't have to get upset.
I know.
It's all right. It's all right. Well, guys...
Yeah, interesting facts to come next with our next podcast.
Yeah.
Regarding first-time parents.
Yeah, so...
Riley.
Well, obviously, with being first-time parents... Well, this is it, you guys, for this episode. If you like what you heard, please like and share the podcast. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at WavesPod. Follow the podcast on Twitter at OfficialWavesPod. That's OFFWAVES Pod. And if you have any questions, comments, if you want to be featured in the next episode, you can email the podcast as well at wavespodcast@gmail.com.
And stay tuned, because if you do, you'll get to meet Riley.
All right, you guys have a good one.